That's good. That's good.
Thousands of narrow boxes.
3, 2.
The mismatch.
It's going to be who's more.
Under the other until the show.
Just try and kill the bot.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining myself. My name is Susan Alyata. I'm the head of YouTube branded content for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and Dennis Cruciel from Tubular Labs to explore the future of online video content strategy.
Yep. Shortly, I'm going to show you how you can use data to find content opportunities on YouTube.
But now, I'll tell you a little bit about the opportunity for brands in the YouTube ecosystem. The world of media has changed. Everyone in this room knows that more than others. But the future is still coming. We know that in 2019, 80% of the world's internet traffic will be video. It would take an individual over 5 million years to watch the amount of video that will cross global IP networks each month in 2019. And we've moved from an age of broadcast to an age of information, and now an age of active participation. Please raise your hand if you have watched at least one YouTube video in the last week. Wow, that's everyone. YouTube is now a regularly scheduled part of our lives, whether we're sent a link from a friend, we subscribe to a channel, or we search for a specific topic, such as how do I? On YouTube alone, 400 hours of video are uploaded every single minute. Since I've been talking, over 1,000 hours of video are now available to viewers around the world. With over 1 billion users and a 50% increase in watch time year over year, YouTube really is where the world chooses to watch. Every one of those minutes is personal on YouTube. 50% of video views are on mobile devices. 34% of those mobile views are actually out of home. And the average viewing session on mobile is now 40 minutes. That's amazing. And for brands, we see that viewers are twice as likely than TV viewers to feel a personal connection to brands that they see video content from. The small screen rules, and all content must be liquid, working seamlessly across all devices. YouTube is also full of personalities, and you've heard a lot about this yesterday and later today as well. We're seeing the unprecedented rise of YouTube stars who have an incredible amount of influence with their fans, from mainstream to niche, from gaming to music, extreme sports to even home improvement. These native YouTube creators are capturing massive audiences through engaging and authentic content. They are the new celebrity. And from bedroom vlogs to travel diaries to branded show formats, they are everywhere. But what makes YouTube unique is the balance of creators, fans, and brands, and each one plays a unique role. Brands enable creators to produce content, and they enable fans to watch the content they love. But brands can and should play an evolving role in this ecosystem. And that is the role of brand as creator. But what does this mean exactly, brand as creator? Quite simply, it's thinking and acting more like a native YouTuber, using the medium of video not just as another communication channel, but to engage a new generation of audience and consumer. Just as successful YouTube creators do, brands must develop content that is discoverable, relevant, authentic, and consistent. To help structure this approach, we have a very simple framework called Hero, Hub, and Help. There are 3 different types of content. They all play a different role in brand communication. First, hero content is that typical big campaign moment. This is probably most familiar to any brands in the room. This is designed for maximum reach and maximum impact. They're tentpoles that deserve orchestration and massive distribution. The next type of content is hub. Now this is consistent programming. It's a series worth subscribing to, it's episodic content, or a branded entertainment format. This type of content helps build an always-on relationship with your audience. This is a long-term game. It's a conversation. And lastly, help content. It's intended to provide utility, educate, answer questions, how do I? Examples include unboxing or even tutorials and recipes. The Hero Hub Help framework is flexible, not absolute, and is actually an age-old print publishing model translated to digital. It's nothing new. And no matter what the subjects, over the course of a year, there should be different types of content that all serve different purposes, achieve different business goals, and are measured in very different ways. And no matter what type of content you are producing, consistency is crucial. YouTube is not a broadcast channel, it's a conversation. Unfortunately, most brands upload either too little content or don't follow a regular programming schedule. On the other hand, native creators understand the importance of keeping their fans happy. They work incredibly hard to produce their content and promote that content on a regular schedule. And this is critical to building an audience over time. Now, why is audience develop important? Because subscribers to your channel are twice as likely to watch a video. They're also the first to share your videos. Subscribers help share your stories with the world. But at the core of your creative strategy, you should strive for really 3 things: to entertain, to educate, and inspire your audience. Despite technology, the very human need for personal and emotional connection and the pursuit of knowledge has not changed, and storytelling is more important than ever in a digital world. Those 400 hours of content uploaded per minute are simply a library of human stories. To tell a brand story, you must find that sweet spot between what your brand wants to communicate, your brand equity, and the passion points of your target audience. From a global perspective, that means understanding that 18 to 24 males in France love gaming and football, or that 25 to 34-year-old females in Germany love how-to and recipes. While YouTube is global, passions are local, and it's critical to understand the similarities and the differences across communities and geographies. The first step to identifying these passion points is understanding what type of data is available and from where, and developing a set of insights to plan your Hero, Hub, and Help strategy. This approach will help you create content that your audience wants to watch, not what you want them to watch. And now Dennis will tell you a little bit more about transforming this pool of data into actionable insights.
Great, thanks, Susan. Hi, everyone. I'm Dennis Crushel from Tubular Labs, the video intelligence company. Today, I'm going to talk to you about thinking outside of the box. What do I mean by that? At Tubular, we help our clients make informed content decisions based on insights from data analysis. I think in the online video industry at the moment, a lot of people talk about a lack of measurement in online video. The reality is there's never been so much data to analyze to see what works or what doesn't work. These metrics might look like new metrics compared to old media, but there are a lot of them to actually understand to know what actually works. So let's get started by looking at what's happened on YouTube in the last 30 days globally. So there have been 7 million creators uploading video content in the last 30 days. I think we should think about this number a little bit, first of all. 7 million in terms of, I'm actually from my country in Ireland, that's double the population. And that amount of people are uploading 29 million new videos every month onto YouTube. And this number is only increasing all of the time, resulting in 50 billion views. This 50 billion views was only in the last 30 days of views for these videos. So for the lifetime they'll be online, it'll be much, much more data. And this isn't even including the engagement data that's happening here. So the last 30 days, YouTube is now 10 years old. The amount of data there to actually analyze, to understand what's working, is massive. And unlike TV, it's even better unlike post-event TV ratings. There's no delayed reporting. This information is available in real time. But what good is data unless you know what to do with it? And I'm sure for a lot of you in the audience, a lot of your data within your organizations might look a bit like this. So in terms of online video data, it needs to be structured to actually understand what's happening in there. At Tubular, we measure everything that happens on YouTube. So not just the views or engagements or likes you can see on your content that you upload, but everyone's. So you can see who's performing really well, who's an influencer or a piece of content that seems to be doing well at a certain time, and to really understand where the real opportunities lie based on real audience behavior. But before you can analyze the data, it needs to be structured. This will make sure that generating insights into online video isn't siloed in your organization. There's nothing worse than, I think, a few analysts within an organization actually only understanding what's happening in online video data, particularly as online video might be a core part of your business today or definitely a future growth opportunity. It's very important that lots of employees know what's actually happening within that space, rather than maybe someone who can query a database to find out some statistic once a month for an organization. So let's get started. So in terms of what we do at Tubular, first of all, we structure and measure the data by views, engagements, uploads, and audience behavior to add a layer of measurement. We then derive insights from that measurement so that you can actually look at what actually valuable that's happening within all of this data, because there's an awful lot of it, as we showed earlier. But even better, discover real-time recommendations, which then will hopefully lead to intelligence that will be business critical for your businesses all the time. As an example, if discovering content that's bubbling up in certain genres is interesting to you, to a particular genre, within the software you can actually see what's actually bubbling up on a daily basis to understand. So I've talked very top line so far in terms of how you do this. I'm now going to look at a category, and I'm going to look at one of the fastest growing categories on YouTube, which is football at the moment. What you're looking at here is football views for content that was uploaded in France over the last 2 years. It's actually doubled in size over the last 2 years, reaching almost 80 million views per month, just recently. And at Tubular, we actually predict it's going to reach over 100 million views during the summer months. And thinking about this in terms of globally, it's going to be about 1 billion views a month happening for football content during the European Championships this coming summer. So it's a good category to look at for maybe branded content opportunities. So what we're going to do next is look at what actually makes up football content on YouTube. So unlike TV, football content on YouTube is very different. There's, first of all, no live games, as you can see here, or reruns of live games. Player compilations actually makes up the highest percentage of views of this data in this category at 42%. Brands actually get a very large percentage of views within this category at 16%. That's 22% higher than the YouTube category average. And as well, what's a little bit more interesting, I think, is kind of near the top of this chart. You're actually seeing news and commentary, but as well skills and freestyle. So this is kind of a new category within football, this skills and freestyle. And these are two of the fastest growing categories in football on YouTube. So what I'm going to do next is actually look at grouping lots of niche categories within football to understand what categories, or these niche content categories, there seems to be an opportunity for. So what I've done here is I've grouped lots of different little niches of football content. And what I'm looking at on the x-axis is number of uploads, while on the y-axis I'm looking at average views per video. So this is looking at thousands of videos and grouping them by metadata in terms of keyword topics. So let's, and just so you're aware before I show this, things that are down here to the right are more saturated areas of YouTube in football content that don't get that high of average views per video. While on the left, on the y-axis, we see where a lot of things get high views, maybe more viral in nature. And then slightly to the right, we're looking at the sweet spot, right there in the center pretty much. So things that are constantly getting a lot of views for a lot of uploads in the last 90 days. So let's look at one. So Barcelona highlights is something that there's a lot of uploads on YouTube, and it gets about 200,000 views per video. In the last 90 days, there's been almost 300 uploads. The La Liga channel on YouTube uploads a lot of this content. If you were a brand thinking, if I got Barcelona highlights, I would have such good content for YouTube. But the reality is it's kind of a saturated space right now on YouTube. While if we look higher up, football fails is kind of an area that there's a few videos that peak every once in a while, but it's not that consistent. But the real sweet spot here is actually football skills. So within football skills, it's a new kind of content genre, as I said earlier, and there's some people on YouTube that are gaining mass audiences. I'm going to play a video in a minute where I'm going to actually look at two gentlemen from the UK who have a YouTube channel called F2 Freestylers, and within F2 Freestylers, they get 45 million views month in, month out on YouTube. So I'll show you the video first of all so you understand about this content genre. Play the video. Oh, play the
Yes,
video.
guys, it's the El Clasico this weekend, and we're absolutely buzzing, aren't we, Bill?
We can't wait because the world's best player is going to be there.
He's an absolute baller.
He don't get better than this guy.
He's the best in the business.
Everyone knows it.
You know it.
We know it.
Can you guess who it is? It's Ronaldo.
What? Messi's the best.
What are you talking about?
Messi's the best.
What? Don't talk to me.
You walk over there with your 3 Ballon d'Ors. I'll sit here with 4.
You want to make this a style?
Let's do it.
He wants to make this a style?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, let me tell you something about Messi's conversion rate from the spot. 86.1%. That's not bad, is it? Enough said.
That's not bad, Lionel, but Cristiano's is 90.4%. I'll make that 1-1. Next stat. When it comes to direct free kicks, Cristiano's got a success rate of 6.7%. And he's got knuckleball techers, which is more than I can say for Lionel.
You can have your knuckleballs. Messi don't read them. His conversion rate is 7.2%, and he just gives it pure whippage. Pure whippage.
So you get an idea of what this category is about. But these two guys, they have managed 18.5 million views on this video. It was only uploaded 4 months ago. They realized they should upload it on the day of the El Clasico, which is Real Madrid versus Barcelona game. And the video, Messi v Ronaldo, is actually a big content genre on YouTube. In terms of this video is actually still getting 100,000 views a day, even today and yesterday and every day, because it's a big genre. And these guys guys have worked with a lot of brands and can help brands create formats and create successful formats for your own content if you're to have that in your own channel. So looking at other content genres that I noticed that have bubbled up within football, football challenges is a subcategory that is growing 2 times faster than the football average. It includes things such as dizzy penalty challenge that you can see here, which is exactly what it says. A lot of dizzy people taking penalty kicks. There's also crossbar challenges, free kicks, penalties. But it's a big genre that's growing really fast on YouTube. And it mightn't be something that you would have thought of initially as something to program successful content around or branded content. Another one is fan reaction videos. There's been 2,000 uploads of fan reaction videos in the last year on YouTube. And they have actually gained, I think, over 30 million views it was in terms of those 2,000 videos. So a big opportunity there as well in terms of videoing fans reacting to live matches. In this example, it was when Man City beat Manchester United in the last day of the Premier League 2 years ago. But definitely a big opportunity this summer for content genre in that space. So as you can see, well, where am I getting to with all of this? As you could see earlier, there's an abundance of online video data to analyze for any category on YouTube. Today, we just looked at football. There's no need to make content decisions in the dark any longer in terms of looking at everything that's happening in online video, not just within your own space. So by using data to understand what's happening in online video, you'll have a much greater chance of success with the next piece of branded content you create before you create anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. And just to reiterate, this model that Dennis shared can be applied to any mainstream or niche content category, and it should serve as a foundation of your online video strategy. Remember, on YouTube, the audience decides what content succeeds or fails. So if you want to reach that new generation, you must create content that your audience wants to watch, not what you want them to watch. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good.